Hello, it's a privilege to come your way today. My name is Christopher Obebo, and today I will continue the topic that we've been discussing for a while, the topic built to last. And the emphasis today will be surviving and thriving part 2. Surviving and Thriving, Part 2. In Part 1, I mentioned that there are organizations that have survived different kinds and levels of challenges. They've survived and they've thrived over them. And I said some of these organizations include the Anglican Communion that was established in the 16th century, Toyota that was established in 1937. I mentioned the Methodist Church that was established in the 18th century. I mentioned Walt Disney that was established in 1923. I mentioned the Assemblies of God Church established in 1914. I equally mentioned International Business Machine IBM in 1911, as well as the Redeemed Christian Church of God established in 1952. Additionally, I also mentioned that there were principles that these organizations adhered to the principles and the persons of Jesus in one way or the other. And I mentioned three of those principles in the previous podcast in part one. So I would encourage you to go to Chris Obebo on YouTube to get the video and watch again. It will give you a background to what I would be discussing today. So let's dive in. Built to last, surviving and thriving, part 2. So I want to continue by looking at the other things that these organizations have done that has helped them to survive and thrive all these years. I first mentioned that in the previous podcast that they have strong leadership development, that they have a strong brand identity, and that what they also they were doctrinally stable and yet they evolved. That they didn't change their doctrine, they didn't change their core values, but yet they've learned to evolve. So today, the fourth point that those organizations have done is what I call community engagement and social impact. Community engagement and social impact. You see, these organizations, in spite of their global outlook and commitment to their core values, yet they engage actively in their local community, and by so doing, they made and they keep making social impact. Jesus, for example, he not only met the spiritual need of his people by teaching them, he equally met their physical need by providing them food. Yes, their physical need he met through the teaching of the word and ministering to them, healing. Their physical need for food he equally met. And he interacted. He was in Zacchaeus' house, not to conduct any ministry, not to heal, but just to interact with him, to enjoy the moment and create memories. Yes, he was at the wedding in Cana of Galilee. Yes. So let me use the Ford Motor Company established in 1903 as an example here. In the Kampong Songhai Urat region of Malaysia, the Ford Motor Company came up with what the title Clean Water Initiative. It was a project to provide sustainable access to clean waters to over 300 villagers last year, November 2024. They didn't stop there. Over some period of time, the Ford Motor Company partnered with Jared Pressner to deliver 500,000 free meals to children in the Edmonton school system in Canada through a program called Fuel the School. They didn't stop there. I'm just going to mention a few of the things they've done. Let me come to Nigeria. In Nigeria, the Ford Company, through their philanthropic organization, they partner to create a program that will empower university students to develop initiative. solutions that will address the problems in their local community, initiative that will address local needs. And this program paid off big time. As an offshoot of this initiative, I will mention three universities that did something remarkable in this regard. The first was Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in Kaduna State. ABU Zaria developed what they call Pay Print. PayPrint was a digital transport system aimed at reducing traffic congestion by streamlining urban mobility through biometric-enabled app. That initiative met a local need in Zaria. The second university was Adekunle Ajasi University, Akungba in Ondo State. They came up with an initiative called Rebirth. Rebirth was a vocational training program providing over 500 rural women with skills in fashion designing, promoting financial independence, and addressing gender inequality. The third university that benefited from that Ford Motor Company program was Tainsholari University of Education, Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State. They created what we call a Nat Care infant warmer. A Nat Care infant warmer. This was an affordable, electricity-free infant warmer designed to reduce neonatal mortality rate in remote areas. You can now see why an organization that is involved into things like this cannot just go into extinction in spite of their global outlook. They were deeply rooted in the community they find themselves. The other thing that also made these organizations to not only have survived, but to keep thriving is what I would try to strategic inreach and outreach. Strategic inreach and outreach. Many a times, organizations and ministries focus on reaching those who are outside, believing that those who are inside, we already have them in the park. However, when the focus is more on those who are outside than those who are inside, a time is coming, those who are inside will still be lost. They will join those who are outside still. So there needs to be what? A balance. An organization that has survived and thrived through the rain, through the storm, through the wind are those engaged actively both in reaching those who are within their fold and reaching those who are outside. In reach and outreach. In reach and outreach respectively. The Lord Jesus Christ had separate sections where he engaged with different set of people. There were those that he met in groups. There were those that he met individually. There were those that he met once. There were those that he met a couple of times. There were those people that like his disciples, that he had a special training section for them. He had the one, he had the three, looking at what the groups, he had the 12, he had the 70, he had the 500, he had the multitude. And so for each of these people, you can see that what he was engaging with them was quite different a bit in scope. What he will tell the 12, of course, is not going to be the content he will say to the 70. What he will tell the 12 will be different from what he will tell the 3. That's the simple truth. And that's because when you bring it down, the messages, the kind of talk, the kind of program that will move the Gen Zs will not necessarily move the Gen Alpha. The one that will move the Gen Alpha will not move the millennials. The one that will move the millennials will not move the Gen X. This is why within churches at times you find models of in-reach and outreach, like women ministry, like youth ministry, like men ministry, like young professional clubs. Then you now have what? Special programs like outreaches to reach out to those who are not within the fold at all. These are strategic in-reach and outreach. And organizations that have equally survived and thrived have also adopted this model by providing custom-made services and products for various age grades or age group of people. So you have product for men, product for women, product for children, product for the aged. Now, let me use what Disney established in 1923 to illustrate this point. For children aged 3 to 12, Walt Disney have a program for them called Disney Junior. They know what those ones like. Now, for those who are aged 13 to 19, teenagers, they have a program and a channel for them called Disney Channel and Movies. And for those who are 20 years and above, there is what we call Disney Plus. So you can see that across all ages, Disney uses relatable characters, cultural diversities, and evolving storyline to promote inclusivity and long-term engagement. This, of course, accounts for why they've existed all this while from 1923 up to date. I want you to determine that you are going to last. And I want you to know that there is so much that you can do in that regard. And so I leave you with this call to action. Go over this video again. Go over the previous one and begin to see what you can do to build yourself to last. Thank you for your time and God bless you.